I'm going to show you how to measure out a basic skeleton using basic shapes and measuring utilizing the head as the unit of measure. On my paper, the very first thing I'll do is make a top and a bottom guideline. This is going to determine how large my skeleton will be on my final paper. The next thing, I will divide the space into eighths because a typical human is 8 heads tall. So I took the space, divided it in half again, and then finally one more time. And I'm going to draw just an oval in the top section. That will be 1/8 of the overall height. So my finished drawing should be contained within my top and bottom line estimate. So next I am going to draw a shoulder line, and I left a little bit of space for a neck. Please leave space for a neck on your skeletons. And I drew a basic shape for a rib cage. This rib cage is 1.5 heads tall. So what you do is you take the head measurement and you get that measurement on a pencil, and you drop it down to where you drew the shoulder line, and then you have 1.5 heads, and it's about 1 head wide as well. Next, I just cleaned up my extra measurements because I don't need those after I get the head measurement. Now I made a line that will represent the top of the pelvis, and the top of the pelvis is 1/2 of a head away from this, the bottom of the rib cage. The pelvis is about 1 head tall and about 1 head wide, and so I just drew it on as a basic shape, heart. Now what I was doing is I marked where I thought the knee should go, and then I took the head measurement and I repeated that measurement here and here. The femur is 2 heads long, so now I can draw the femur. And I'm measuring the lower part of the leg. The lower part of the leg is 1.25 heads or 1.5 heads tall, so I'm going to draw the lower part of the leg and then add the foot. And a foot pointing at me I used as just a triangle. Now I'm going to just do the other leg. I know that the knee height will be about the same as the first leg and the ankle as well. And this one I'm just drawing the foot sideways so you can see the difference between a foot facing forward and a foot facing sideways. Something to remember when you draw a foot onto the skeleton is that the heel bone actually goes behind the leg a little bit so that you can balance. So the skeleton foot, to make it very lifelike, you need to make sure that you add space for the heel bone behind the leg. I'm going to measure the upper arm, which is about 1.25 heads, a little bit more than 1 head length, and the lower arm, which is about 1 head, and the hand, which is 3/4 of a head. You should have, if you've done this right, the fingertips should touch the skeleton mid-thigh. Also, the base of the elbow, or the elbow, will touch right around the base of the rib cage. I add the other arm, and now the basic skeleton is done. I'm just going to add some spine, a little more specific shape to the rib cage, and that's it. We're done.